Yo, what's up? What's up? This is Dr. Little John from a G perspective. Check out the blessed view. I took a picture here 2 years ago when I turned 53, a few days thereafter. It's now a few days thereafter me turning 55, so I thought I'd take another picture here. But not only that, I thought I'd start my channel journey here. I've been procrastinating, been BSing. It's time to get it cracking from a G perspective. Sometimes that happens, but I'll tell you this, procrastination, for those who are prone to it, can be one of the most detrimental things that you do to yourself. You can't walk in my shoes, neither can I in yours, but walk with me. A G perspective is the rawest insight into the human experience. For many of you, I may be the only access to a G homie that you'll ever have. And I'm talking about in the realest sense of that concept. I'm here to turn negatives into positives. The cost of what I've learned is too high, but I offer the insight to you from the extremes at no risk. I pay the cost, I paid the price, so you don't have to. See through me, step into me, walk with me. Let me share some of the insights that God has blessed me with after taking me through the fire. And when I say taking me through the fire, you have no idea. I've lived through some of the most extremes that modern environments have to dish out. I've seen a whole lot. I've done a whole lot. I've defended against a whole lot. And Yahweh has blessed me to still be here. And it took me a long time to realize what that reason was for. But the simpler answer is that reason is to give back. But the more complex answer is that the lessons that I learned from the experience that I've gone through, He wants me to share that so that you'll possibly have the insight whenever those circumstances may arise to have a sharper instinct. I'm here to turn negatives into positives. And you don't have to be from the streets. You don't have to be from poor. You don't have to be from third world country, city. What I have to share with you are things that occur in human behavior, irregardless of where we're at. And especially in this time, having a sharper instinct can be the difference between life or death. My life experiences has created a unique insight and perspective on life's circumstances, situations, and human behavior. I'm here to share with you situations and circumstances that either I've gone through personally, or I've studied, or I know of others who have gone through personally extensively, and I've been able to take my keen sense for logic and an understanding for human behavior, and I'm able to catalog, analyze, be distinct about situations and circumstances that can apply in a whole lot of situations. My life's negatives transposed into a positive. It's what this channel is about. And I want to share it with you by sharing the wealth through sharing the knowledge. And may you use with that knowledge the wisdom to overcome extreme circumstances when you least expect them. But maybe something that I've left you with gives you the insight to see the situation and its possible negative unfoldings before they actually occur, to make the right moves on your board, to stay safe. There's a word we use, it's called usalamu. And salamu means security. Usalamu means, do you have security? And it's a concept to say, are you aware of your surroundings? Are you prepared? Are you on point? And that comes from a situation where you'd have individuals on a weight pile working out. You'd have one guy laying down on the bench. You'd have two spotters on his side. If there was a fourth guy, then that fourth guy would be at the front of the bench looking out towards the crowd. His only objective is to give the guy on the bench enough time to get up, to defend himself, to defend the group, to not be a victim. And not only did he need that, but also the spotters needed that. They needed to make sure that the weight was taken off of him. And so in concept, the guy at the front, he had usalamu. But the concept is broader. And the concept is as simple as just looking back as you walk or traverse about your daily doings. But it's also as complex as operational security when it comes to your digital fingerprint, your digital imprint, your digital wealth, your personal space and personal identity and personal information. It covers a whole host. So usalamu is a whole host of all those things. And it doesn't come overnight, but it comes from first being aware, not being naive. The same tool sets that I learned in the inner city, behind those walls, I can use in a Vons down the street from here. If an active shooter steps onto the premises, rather than be a victim, I could take action. That's what this channel is about. I'll do some things in-house, but I also do some things on location. I'm a big fan of exercising your freedom. I'm a big fan of nature. I'm a big fan of health. I'm a big fan of financial, physical, and spiritual health. That's what this channel is about. I'm gonna take you on a journey that you're blessed to never have experienced, but I'm gonna give you the insight that comes from that forging of those experiences. I'm gonna share with you things that you've only seen in a movie. It took me a while, like I say, that picture, it was 2 years ago. I had started collecting videos and doing some things prior to that, so I've got a gang of material that I just need to edit. But I wanted to start this off with an introduction. My name is Dr. Littlejohn, and this is from a G perspective. You can call me LJ, you can call me Doctor, you can call me DR, you can call me Littlejohn. You can call me that cool ass brother. I don't got no problem with none of that. I may not always tell you what you want to hear. This is the rawest, this is the uncut. I've backed up, I've done, I've participated in a whole lot of negatives. But I'm gonna let you know now, the powers that be, Yahweh, God, Allah, He brought me through all that. And I'm banging the truth. And if you don't want to hear the truth, then this ain't for you. And that's uncut. A G homie's job and responsibility was to give you enough insight so that when you went out into those streets, you wouldn't be a victim. From a G perspective, lessons learned, insights forged through overcoming the extremes of a modern urban life and institutional environments. Lessons learned. When I say lessons learned, I'm talking about from a kid having to fight overwhelming odds, being put in situations where I got to get down and there's anywhere from 2 or 3 to 10 or 15, 20 people who don't like me, and I've got to stand my ground. I've had 2 hits put out on me, and I'm still here. And I'm talking about some money and then some manpower. I'm still here. Over 20-something years later, I'm still here. I've taken guns away from people several times in my lifetime, where people were about to run into the establishments that I was already in. I've had point-blank shootouts, and I'm still here. Understand, these are things that happened in my past. I've evolved, I've grown into the man that I am because of those circumstances. But I am not that man. I am in tuned because of those circumstances. And I am a more developed man because of those situations and circumstances. But one thing I've learned through those situations and circumstances that I stand on today and I'm sharing with you is I'm not with the BS. Once again, I'm banging the truth. If you pushing some BS or you misleading the people, and I'm talking about humanity as a whole, I'm smashing. I'm confronting. One of the main reasons why I went through many of the things that I went through was because my elders, those G's, didn't tell me the things that I really needed to know. They passed on many untruths, many lies, and I lived with that. I wasn't trained in the things that I needed to be trained in. My natural strengths were not honed. The responsibility of your elders, your parents, your G's is to help spot your natural instincts and help to hone those so that success is at a higher probability because you've honed the things that you have natural gifts at. We all have natural gifts at something. I was taught a bunch of lies. Most of the stuff we think we know are lies. And so I went through a lot of things because of that. And I was resentful and angry because of that. And there's a voice inside of me that said, hey, there was a hand on you through all of that. And you say the problem is nobody spoke the truth. Well, speak the truth. That same hand that saved you through that bullshit will walk with you as you speak the truth. And so that's my goal, that's my aim. Of course, in the process, once again, like I said, I want financial, physical, and spiritual. That means mental, the whole being, health. Walk with me. I guarantee you I'll bless you. And it won't be all rah-rah. There's a time and a place for everything. I'm big on exercising my freedom. And in exercising my freedom, I do a lot of nature. I'm big on getting away from human vibrations and absorbing natural vibrations. Natural vibrations are not negative. There are negative consequences to not hearing or not heeding the vibrations that nature offers. But nature doesn't give you any negative vibrations. When we're amongst humans in urban environments, for some of us, and for many of us that aren't aware, those vibrations can lead to a whole lot of negative, whether it's health, mental, spiritual, They can cause you to make bad decisions. They can cause you to be angry. They can cause you to be naive. If you don't believe those vibrations exist, well, most people will say that they've experienced or they know someone who's experienced a time where you walked into a room and the tension was thick enough to cut like a knife. What do you think we're talking about? It doesn't mean every time that was necessarily right, but what it means is that we do emanate some very intense vibrations. And in our past, we've inadvertently experienced that to a degree where we quoted it off to people we know, but yet we take that for granted. We don't look deeper into that. And so that's what I mean by those vibrations. So there's going to be times where I'm going to be in-house filming, and there's going to be times where I'm going to be out in nature. I'll find locations. Hopefully the sound is okay. And we're going to do this. Walk with me. This is Dr. Littlejohn from a G perspective. Appreciate your time. Peace. I'm out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.